Aloha. You're watching Top Tech Talent Reemployment Project, where we're trying to help those who have been impacted by layoffs find their next great opportunity. And I got another pal from your years from, the years ago from a previous job. It's Dave Bergmann. How's it going, Dave?
Great, Peter. Thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
No problem. Happy to help, of course. Now, they always say get into the content in the first minute. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the type of roles you're looking for, Dave?
Yeah, I'll start by the fact that I have an interesting kind of background as sort of a generalist. I've been working for a long time, started my career doing event management, moved into advertising and marketing agencies where I was in account management and moving up through the agency. And then at F5, I was a creative operations leader. And the kind of roles that I'm looking for are those roles that allow me the opportunity to continue to work in creative environments, to work in program or project management, work with and lead people. But the challenge that I face based on that background is that the titles that I have had all along are not project manager, they are not program manager because they're kind of industry specific titles. And
Right.
so I'm trying to find those right kind of roles where I can prove with my experience, even though I don't have the titles, that I want to be a creative operations leader or a program manager or a business manager since I've been doing those things for my entire career.
Yeah, right. So, let us know or tell us a little bit about those skills that then match the types of roles you're aiming for.
Yeah, I mean, I have 15 plus years managing teams, and I've spent a ton of time, literally my entire career, working with stakeholders from across global organizations, managing cross-functional programs and projects with as many as like 70 people on a cross-functional team across 10 different disciplines and things like that. So I have just a lot of experience being able to work with people and to pull people together and use processes and workflows to kind of get the most out of all those situations.
So, one of the things we put on here is calmness in crisis. So, do you have any maybe humorous stories where that particular trait really helped the situation?
Well, a lot it is. I'm a very even-keeled person. It doesn't mean I'm not passionate about things, but I'm able to just stay calm and focus on problem and moving things forward. But there are times where I will remain so calm that some people are challenging me and wondering how I'm not freaking out all the time. And so I have to be aware of that and make sure I understand and have a little bit of empathy for those people that need to work through those things while I'm maybe trying to focus on the opportunity or the problem at hand. And so we have some of those kind of crazy conversations and people come back to me afterwards and say, I just can't believe how calm you were. How could you not be so mad at X, Y, and Z? And I'm just like, well, I was feeling it, but I just wanted to get through it and figure out how we move forward.
So, what do you miss the most about working?
I mean, I miss the creative environments. I miss the teams of people that I work with and around. Particularly when I'm managing teams, I manage, at F5, I manage an amazing team of creative, like program project managers who are kind of the backbone of the entire creative agency internally there. And I just really enjoy helping people grow in their roles and watching them continue to grow and get more out of their roles. I'm always have this philosophy of trying to hire people who I think have even more potential than I do. And one of the interesting things that as I've been kind of going through this is reaching out to people from teams who used to report to me and seeing all these amazing people that are at the same level as me now. They are higher level than me now, and it's like that's the rewarding gratification that I get from being able to manage people too.
Yeah, it seems like the best leaders pretty much surround themselves with a team that these individuals do at least one thing better than the leader, so that everybody kind of contributes. And it's also a key point. I know people have talked about this before, where you kind of you develop one of your team members, but you basically develop yourself out of a job because these people have kind of graduated on. And there's musician stories, right, where you hear a certain musician goes to the teacher, and they're rock stars now, but that original teacher is like, oh yeah, at 11 years old, I couldn't do anything else more for him. He was already, surpassed me. Speaking of work, as we are, what are some of the things that have surprised you about the job market today?
Well, I'll start by saying that I've actually never really been in a full-blown job search like this before.
Oh,
So when I moved back to Seattle around 20 years ago, I was able to, just make some connections and found a job in event management, and then I've been able to, stay at places for a fairly long time. 9 years in a certain ad agency, 6 years at F5. And so I've seen layoffs and seen the impacts and how they work. It hasn't happened to me. And so the whole modern job search thing is new for me. So there's just a little bit of the shock of what this is really like and all the tools and practices and things you need to do. But then once you really get into it and you think about all the people who have been laid off, have been a part of a RIF, and then you start seeing literally hundreds of people applying for every job, and even over 1,000 in some cases. And if you don't get in the first 24 hours, a job can be gone like that.
yeah.
And we all know that just passively searching and working on job boards isn't enough, but it's really helped me understand the importance of getting out and meeting people and making connections with people. So it's been really interesting, but I'm just trying to broaden the sources that I'm using, broaden the reach of the people that I'm meeting with and trying to get connected with to get out there. So it's just kind of been a slow process of learning, but it's been a challenge too, because it was right before the holidays. And so we all know the holidays hiring is not quite the same. And then I have a unique challenge that I'm dealing with. We're moving across the country in the beginning of March to be closer to some aging parents and to make sure we're there to kind of help them out. And so on top of all this, I have not only the difficulty of being in my previous role and starting to make sure that a move would work, to suddenly having to search for remote work only or in-person hybrid work in city in an area that is not a major hub for tech or for other work. So that's a huge challenge for me. Limiting the scope of what I can go for and things like that is very difficult, while also trying to plan a massive move.
But you also got to stay positive through it all. I've often joked with my wife, with the number of people who have been laid off and all the different kind of disciplines, like over 100,000, maybe more than that. Like, we have enough people to start our own company with all the various disciplines, knowledge, skills, and abilities that are out there. So like during this, so you're, learning about the job search, trying to move. What are some of the things that you're doing to maybe kind of keep the anxiety down, sort of, the stress of it all? What are some of the things you're doing to kind of help with mental health challenges?
Yeah. And and I'll say too that I went through a lot personally in the last 4 years, while I was at F5. And I didn't really realize until I left how really stressed that all of that on top of the work situation had me. And so I actually went through, obviously, the moment of shock from the time you see the email for the meeting request, that what it means, to the quick hour later seemingly where you're all of a sudden your computer shut off and things like that. I went through all that, and then I actually went through a sense of relief, to be honest, for a little bit. I noticed that change, but I am focusing on getting my project management professional certification, and I'm really focusing on my mental and physical health as much as I can, and it's great. And with the distraction of the move, I'm I've got all that going too.
Oh, that's good. So you definitely kind of keeping hope alive and something to look forward to. So here's one question we actually didn't talk about, but I like asking one that's sort of off the cuff. But I asked this the last time. So when was the last time? Oh, you know what? I might even have an answer for you. The last time you did something for the first time. I have my own answer for you, but I'll let you answer first.
The last time I did something for the first time. Wow. That's a tough one. I mean, the most recent one would be this job search.
That
Uh,
bingo.
and then
In the answer
this
wheel.
move across the country too is something I've never done. But yes, you nailed it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm on top of this, aren't I, Dave?
Yes.
Very cool. Do you have any maybe closing remarks or anything kind of unique about you, a hobby or anything you want to share with folks? Because, we really try to, and we have obviously, but this is really to get that personality, essence, those kinds of things. So those looking for workers is like, I'm going to grab Dave.
Yeah. I just say, I'm somebody who's really a good kind of a glue culture person in any organization with a broad spectrum of experience from, marketing and creative strategy and brand through, like we mentioned, program and project management to business and creative operations. So I have a lot to offer. Just need to find the right place where I can get in and make an immediate impact on the business and its customers. And I'm just looking forward to doing it. I'm really looking forward to this next one because it feels like I have the opportunity to shape my career this next kind of phase of my career. So I am excited about it.
Yeah, definitely. Myself included, Mark, who we spoke with, I'm going to say last week, but it's actually this week because we're recording this week. But those of us who have this, over 20 years in the industry, we've done everything across the board, as we've kind of grown as the internet has grown. So I totally understand and somewhat is the same boat as you.
Right.
Great stuff, Dave.
Thank you,
Really
Peter.
enjoyed speaking with you. And if you enjoyed this content, first, get in touch with Dave, make some connections, find out a little bit about him. If you enjoy this kind of content, I sure hope that you can share it and like it and just help promote these individuals who are looking for work, including myself, but I'm having a lot of fun here. And for my good pal, Dave, it's really good seeing you. I always enjoyed working with you, Dave. So I know there's a company out there that's looking exactly for you. You just haven't met them yet.
Same to you, Peter.
Watching, thanks so much. Really appreciate it. As I mentioned, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Top Tech Talent, the Reemployment Project. I'm Peter. Say bye, Dave.
See you later, everybody. Thanks.
Right on. Take care.